everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day today. My name is Heather Hellman. I am the Assistant Director for Serenity Impact Youth Prevention Program. So today I want to talk to you guys about something called self-identity. Has anyone ever heard of that before? Show of hands. A few of you have maybe? All right, so self-identity can be defined a couple of different ways. But for the purpose of today, I want you guys to think of this term self-identity as this giant puzzle, okay? There's a lot of pieces that go into this puzzle, but for today specifically, I'm going to give you 4 different pieces to that puzzle to get you guys started. So, self-identity is, in short, defined as who you are as a person. I'm sure some of you guys have been asked before, who are you? Maybe you've even asked yourself, who am I? These are questions that are used to kind of help develop your self-identity. So what even goes into that? Because that's not really a clear meaning to this term, right? So I'm going to give you 4 different pieces to this self-identity puzzle, you remember? So the first one that I'm going to give you is something called interests. And interests are just like it sounds. What is it about you that you like to do? How many of you guys like cheeseburgers? Few of you? All right, I'm a huge cheeseburger fan. Love cheeseburgers. Any of y'all like hot dogs? Maybe a couple of you? All right, so some of you are team hot dog and some of you guys are team cheeseburger. There may be some of you that don't like either of those. That's perfectly all right. But one piece of this puzzle, interests, is going to help kind of get your wheels turning, get your brain moving to discover who you are as a person. Going back to interest for just a second, so think about things that you like. Some of you guys like to run. Some of you guys don't like to run. Some of you may like the color blue. Some of you may like the color green. Some people, like we just talked about, are team cheeseburger and some of you guys are team hot dog. Not that big of a deal. Everyone has different interests in different things. Maybe some of you guys like sports. Maybe some of you don't even want to be near a sports ball. Perfectly fine. One thing to remember though about interests, you will find people that have the same interests as you. But just because somebody has a different interest or just because someone likes something different than you, that doesn't make them a bad person. That doesn't mean that they're wrong in liking that particular thing. It just means that they're slightly different than yours. And guess what? That's perfectly okay. Because think about it, if we all liked the same thing, wouldn't that be kind of boring? I think it would be. All right, so we've already talked about interests. Second piece of this puzzle that I'm going to give you is something called beliefs. And beliefs are what you think is true. Beliefs can come in all shapes and sizes. So for example, if I told you, I believe the grass is green, I think most of you would agree with me when I say that, am I right? Yeah. Though there might be someone out there that doesn't think the grass is green. They may say, well, the grass is blue. Are they wrong? To a certain extent they could be, but they believe something that is different than what I believe or what most people believe. Another belief of mine is I believe that playing video games all day is not the healthiest thing to do. Now, before you freak out, some of you may disagree with me. Some of you may believe that playing video games all day, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hurting anybody, so that means that it's good for me, right? That's another topic for another day. But your belief is different than my belief, just like you hot dog lovers are different than us cheeseburger lovers. So just because I believe that playing video games all day long is unhealthy, does that mean that I'm a bad person? No, not at all. Does that mean that I'm wrong? No, not necessarily. I just have a different belief than maybe you do. Your friend may think that staying up all night's the best thing ever. And maybe you think that going to bed at a decent time is actually better. You guys are still friends, right? I would hope that you guys would still be friends. You guys just have different beliefs. Guess what? That's okay too. Yeah, turns out that's perfectly fine. All right, so to recap, we've got interests, which are things that you like to do or things that you like in general. Then we have beliefs, which are what you think is true. The third piece of this puzzle that I'm going to give you is something called morals. Morals are what you believe is good or what you believe is appropriate or what you think is acceptable. So for example, one of my morals is I believe that it is good to be kind to other people. So I have a moral of kindness. I think it's safe to say that most of you would agree that kindness is a good moral to have, correct? Okay, awesome. I also think that it's good to be patient. Now let's be honest for a second, okay? How many of you guys out there love to wait for things? I don't see a lot of hands going up. No one likes to wait for things, right? Like if you're hungry, you want food right now. When it's time to get out of school, you want to get out right now. When your sibling is driving you crazy, you want them to stop right then, right? As soon as you get home from school, do you want to watch that movie? Do you want to play that video game? Do you want to text or Snapchat or use your phone to contact somebody? You don't want to wait around for that. Who wants to wait around for things that they want, right? Unfortunately, I'm not the most patient person either. It's kind of hard to meet people that are patient because a lot of people don't like to wait for things. We want what we want and we want them right this second. Yeah. However, even though I'm not the most patient person and you may not be the most patient person in the entire world, I still believe that it's good to be patient. And even though I'm not patient, that is something that I am working on in my own self-identity every single day. And that's the great thing about this whole concept or this whole puzzle of self-identity. It's okay to start small because if you start small, you can build on those different steps. Cool? All right. So we've got interests, beliefs, morals, and now I'm going to talk about the last piece, which are values. Values are things that are important to you, not your friend, not your parent, not your guardian, not your teacher. What is important to you? You, right there, talking to you. For example, one of the things that I value is my family. I love my family, I trust them completely, and I always want to hear what they have to say, where they stand on things, that kind of thing. Now, my family may tell me something that I may not agree with. Does that mean that they're a bad person? Absolutely not. It just means, again, like we've been talking about, they think something different than I do. Guess what? That's okay. Remember that. Another value of mine is trust. When I tell my best friend a secret, I'm going to trust the fact that she is not going to go blab to this other person, right? I would assume that you guys have secrets that you trust to other people, right? If not, you should find somebody. So trust is something that I value, not only in myself, because I want to be a trustworthy person. If a friend of mine comes to me with a secret, I want to be able to hold that secret, not tattletale, right? Right. Not only do I hold trust as a value for me personally, but I also hold that in other people that I talk to and who I connect with. Another example of a value that I treasure, and we've already talked about this throughout this presentation today, is kindness. I value the fact that I want to be nice to people, and I want other people to be nice to me in return. So that is something that I value. So remember, we're talking about self-identity, and I've given you 4 pieces to this puzzle: interests, beliefs, morals, and values. Let's break this down just a little bit more with the time that we have left. So discovering who you are, unfortunately, takes a little bit. It's not something that you can look in a textbook or a book that you're reading for fun and read something and go, I think that sounds like me. It may sound like you, and that may be another piece that you discover to add to your self-identity puzzle. But it does take time. I've given you 4 great pieces to start off with, But I want you to picture this puzzle that has like 500 pieces. That's a lot of pieces, right? I've only given you 4. So you're probably wondering, Miss Heather, how are we supposed to discover our self-identity if you've only given us 4 pieces? And that's the fun part. You guys now get to go out into the world and gather up those puzzle pieces. Think of this as like a scavenger hunt. The only problem is the scavenger hunt is going to take a little bit of time. And that's okay. That's what makes it fun, because every day you can discover something else about yourself and add that to your puzzle, right? So one other thing that I want to kind of go over is what makes you you? What makes you you? Kind of sounds like it can kind of get confusing, right? So people can be similar to you. Like we had Team Cheeseburger and Team Hot Dog earlier. So you're not the only person on Team Cheeseburger, right? I'm on Team Cheeseburger, so I'm on your team. And the hot dog guys over here, you guys may not be the only person that likes hot dogs. My best friend loves hot dogs. She's on your team. You will meet people on a day-to-day basis that share the same likes that you do. They like the same things that you like. But that doesn't mean that they're you, right? They may like the same things that you do, but they're not actually you, right? There's not 2 of you, unless you have a twin. But even then, twins can be different because they're 2 separate people. At the center of who you are a completely different person. So what makes you different? This is also part of discovering this self-identity. And guess what? It can be a little scary. Yeah, it can be a little scary. But that's also kind of part of the fun, right? And that's where courage comes in. I'm sure you guys have heard of courage before. So courage is being brave. I believe that each and every one of you out there are brave and you're courageous. So, last question I want to leave you with. What do you believe about yourself? When you sit there and really think about it, what do you believe about yourself? Do you believe that you're kind? Do you believe that you're good? Do you believe that you're awesome? Let me tell you what I believe about each and every one of you. I believe that you are unique. I believe that you are special. You're special. I believe that you are so important. I believe that you matter a lot. I believe that you are loved. There's only one you there will ever be. Think about that for a second. No one else can be like you. There's only one you that will ever be. Why not be the best at it? You know what I mean? There's only one me that there will ever be. Yes, I'll meet people that are similar to me. Yes, I'll meet people that like the same things that I like. But guess what? I'm still me. And that's awesome. There's only one you. That's awesome, right? So why not be excited about that? You're unique. You are special. You are important. You matter. And you are loved. I hope that you guys have someone in your life that tells you that. And if not, let me be the first. And I speak for everyone here at Serenity Impact when I tell you guys that you guys are important and you matter so much. Thank you guys so much for joining me today with this awesome discussion. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Be sure to come back next week and we're going to talk about connection. I know it sounds a little boring, but trust me, it's going to be a blast.